It's exactly 8:39 a.m. This is News and Views, and we're now going to be taking a closer look at politics in South Africa. This time we are focusing on KZN. Now, the future of the IFP-led coalition governing KZN is bleak amid the widening political rift between the IFP and the NFP over ultimate control of the Zululand district municipality. The NFP threw down the gauntlet, threatening to walk out of the government of Provincial Unity, GPU for short, if the IFP did not heed its demands of giving away control of the Zululand district municipality. So they seem to have reached a stalemate. How is this going to move forward? And how is it going to impact on the running of that municipality? Because, of course, we do know that the NFP had their eyes on the mayoral position in that part of the country. Let's talk to political analyst Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast to unpack this stalemate for us. A very good morning to you, Professor. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me, colleague.
So, how do we view the situation? And do you think that the stalemate will be broken sooner rather than later?
Just to set the scene for your listeners, South Africa has been having coalition arrangements that are unworkable and unstable, covering the period of 2016 until to date. I'm specifically focusing on that time because the hegemony of the ANC has been dealt with a blow in a big way. So, one-party dominance is a thing of the past. So the challenge has been that coalition partners, they tend to rush into joining forces by forming these governments without developing a conflict management mechanism to deal with their internal contradictions. So there is a need to bridge the gap between coalition politics and conflict management. For instance, we are talking about the fragility of the government of KZN. My question is there a platform to ventilate disputes? Even on a national scale, a platform like that does not exist. But I guess maybe South Africa doesn't have a long-standing history of coalition arrangements. I would argue that the apartheid regime was dominated by the National Party. Even post before, the ANC has been hegemonic. So this is something that is still new with us. But I think we need to draw some lessons from what had happened in 1999. You remember there was a coalition government there in 1999 between the ANC and the IFP. But I think the sooner the better that they develop this conflict management mechanism. I think that will go a long way in terms of addressing some of the insecurities.
I'm just wondering if they don't strike a deal, which obviously the NFP thought was in place. Their president, Ivan Barnes, was hoping to be the next mayor of the Zululand district municipality. They go on to say that the IFP has backstabbed us. And because of that, we are going to walk out of the provincial coalition if the IFP does not exceed our demands. Does that mean that that's going to collapse then the municipality? Or would the IFP just try and pick up the pieces and move on?
First of all, it will be interesting to get the provision and the specificities of the deal that they struck. You know, I didn't come across any report about the statement of intent of the KZN coalition government, because we've heard about the statement of intent of the national government and the one of Gauteng, but not the one of KZN. So I think that will be interesting. The second point is that there are some internal political issues within NFP because Barnes has been contradicting of his counterparts within his party. So I think there's a power struggle there because the members of the party are pulling in different directions, and that is having a spillover effect on the arrangement of provincial government.
Okay, from what I'm seeing, it seems as if the NFP, which is obviously a key member of the GPU, had been eyeing control of the Zululand district municipality in return for backing the IFP's Tami Ntuli for the Plum Premier position. So the trade-off would have been Tami Ntuli gets the Premier position and Ivor Barnes gets the mayoral position. But it seems, if that is in fact correct, the IFP reneged on the power deal and then went on to pitch its candidate, Michael Khumalo, for the mayoral position in the Zululand district municipality. So it's finger pointing here, and I don't know how this is going to play out and the impact on that municipality going forward.
Thank you very much for allowing me to weigh in on that score. You see, that interpretation that you are giving is correct. That's the one that I know. But it has been disputed by some of the members of the NFP that it is a subjective interpretation of Barnes. And that argument is put forward, according to some people, by Barnes in pursuit of personal accumulation because he wants to use the local state, to enrich himself. So that's not a popular view of the party that has been presented by all and sundry. No wonder you don't know which argument is valid. The one that is put forward by the IFP and the one that is put forward by the other section of NFP.
Okay, interesting indeed, because right now, as you and I speak, there seems to be a lot of finger pointing, and there seems to be an unauthorized source that has leaked information to the media. And we understand that the NFP has requested a meeting with the IFP now in a bid to ease the simmering tensions. How do you believe, my final question to you, Professor, how do you believe this might play out in the best interest of both parties and, more importantly, the people of that municipality?
Well, I welcome the developments. I think they are positive for the people of KZN because politics and administration are like two sides of the same coin. And the province of KZN is the second largest province of the country. So it is one of the biggest economies of the country that contributes to economic growth and the GDP. There are a lot of economic activities which are taking place in KZN in terms of the movement of goods. So the interplay between the political and the economic elite, including the administrative elite, is of paramount importance. But now the question is, if you are arranging a meeting between the political elite, which faction is going to represent the NFP? Because Barnes has his own faction, and then there's also another faction. Is that meeting going to achieve its intended objective?
That's the big question, is it not? And that's where we leave it till we have more information on this matter and relook at it at a future date. Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast, always a pleasure hearing your deep insights on all matters political. Till the next time, keep warm and God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. 8:49 News and Views moving along right here on Salam Media. Our next guest is Igor Garcia. He is the communication advisor for Doctors Without Borders for Sudan.